Hey guys, Antonio here with Real Men, Real Style. And today I've got Ryan Masters with me. You guys have heard me talk about his channel, talk about what he does, and over at the Workout Corner, so you can go check out his website. He's a certified training and conditioning coach. Did I just kill that, Ryan?
It's a little bit. Certified, yeah, certified strength and conditioning specialist, but same idea.
Well, the thing is, guys, is that we're here in Arizona together. Normally we're on other sides of the country. Ryan just moved out to Colorado. I'm in Wisconsin, as you know. But the idea was, hey, I've got him here, and I think that when it comes down to it, our bodies are so important when it comes to style. So I've got a number of questions that I've had for Ryan, and I'm going to go ahead and ask him right now. And but Ryan, really quick, I'd like you to take 30 seconds. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Actually, you can take a minute. But
okay.
Go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do, and a little bit more background info for the people that have never heard of you.
Sure. Well, appreciate, again, exciting meeting you in person finally. We've been, like Antonio said, we've been buddies for a while, and it's great to finally meet in person. There's just something different about that. But yeah, a little bit about me. I've been training and working out forever. Probably like a lot of guys in the sense that I just was never seeing results. I was, going to the gym. I was eating healthy. And it wasn't until at one point when I went to the beach, I went to the pool actually, and I was with a friend, a girlfriend that I'd known for a while. And when I took my shirt off, she was like, "Oh, I haven't seen that before. That wasn't there before," because I had like a little bit of a gut. And it was kind of tongue in cheek, but at the same time, those are the little zingers that really kind of get you. And I was just like, okay, no more of that. So I really, really hit the books hard.
How old were you at this time?
I was 24, 25.
24, 25.
Yeah, so it was about 3-4 years ago. And so since then I said, okay, enough of this, working out and eating healthy but not seeing results. And I really put my nose to the grind, went through the books, went through the training, and was able to get the transformation that I finally wanted as far as the results in terms of working out. And been on that kick ever since, because I believe, my personal philosophy, hopefully I'm not running over my minute here, is just that, it's working out for me is not like about looks. It's about the disciplines and the training and improving yourself, kind of like what you were talking about, just the image and the self-confidence that you get from working hard and just putting your nose to the grind.
Well, what I really liked is that you focused on those three aspects. You focused on not just the exercising and lifting weights and that kind of, the whole fitness aspect, but it was also about the rest, and it was about the nutrition. And those are things that I don't feel a lot of guys, they talk about. I see guys in the gym all the time that are huge. I mean, they got a big stomach and they've got big arms.
Right.
But that's not where I want to be. And as I've told you, I'm almost 37 years old now. I noticed that my body is changing. Things are slowing down. My metabolism. I can't, so I realized that eating healthy is a big component. And I love that about your systems and what you've got set up. You don't just talk about, lifting weights. It's also about, hey, you need to rest and you need to eat the right food.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's something I call the workout trinity, which is, as you mentioned, it's food intake, exercise, and rest. And it's one of those things, like, naturally we think, a guy, especially when I first started, like, when we want to work out and get in shape, what do I got to do? I got to go to the gym and hit the weights. Like, that's just the connection that's there. So it's like, all right, go to the gym, toss some weights around, and then I'll be in shape. And unfortunately, that's not the case at all. And as you mentioned, like, food intake or nutrition or diet, like, that is more important in some cases than the actual exercise. And what can really kill guys, and it's tough for me to see because they've got the motivation, they're going to the gym, but because they're missing those other two elements, they don't see the results. And so they're like, must not be in the cards for me, or it's genetics, or it's just I'm not meant to be in shape. And so they kind of fall off the wagon.
Okay. Well, for today, one thing I would like to do is I want to talk a little bit about, I want to spend this time asking you some questions that I think a lot of the guys have out there. And if they can, take something from these questions, I think they're going to be able to run with it and maybe get, we talk about how 20% of the information, if they just act on it, would give them 80% of the results, the Pareto principle. So let's say, I'm going to ask you a little bit about each, but let's talk about first nutrition and putting things in your body. One of the things you talk about is a lot of water. What's the deal with water? And why do I need to be, why can't I be sucking down Cokes? Why can't I be sucking down, coffee all day? Why does it have to be water?
Yeah, water is the oil, is just like an oil is to an engine of the car. It keeps everything running. That's what water is for our body. And it's tricky in the sense that we can be in a state that's semi-dehydrated. So we're still running around, walking around, feeling okay. But when we're semi-dehydrated, our body starts shutting off functions such as burning fat or building muscle. And it's not anything we're going to feel going from day to day. But when we're fully hydrated, those operations and mechanisms are still running. In terms of when we get into drinking like soda, that's when you're doing double damage because you're drinking what's called empty calories. So you're putting all this junk energy into your body. Your body has nothing to do with it. It's like, what am I doing with all the sugar? Well, just whatever, all this store
I've heard people with water, though, they talk about a gallon a day, a gallon and a half a day. Is that, do you recommend that much water?
I would go up to a gallon, depending on, a lot of it's going to depend on your level of exercise. Like, tomorrow, I wouldn't say, Antonio, tomorrow go start drinking a gallon of water, just because I know like what you're doing in terms of exercise right now. But if you are seriously hitting the gym a lot and you are serious about putting on mass or losing fat, yeah, you want to get up to about a gallon of water. Now that can include juices and fruits and vegetables. Like you're getting water, you're not necessarily just drinking a straight jug, because you get water from almost all the food that we eat. And so that's kind of a common benchmark that you hear. I mean, you also hear about like the 8 glasses a day. I think that was created, I don't know what, forever ago.
Yeah.
But we want a little bit more than that.
Okay, so we've talked about water, and let's assume we can debate about green tea and coffee and all this stuff, but guys, start drinking your water. So when it comes down to foods, can you give me some ideas of foods that you cannot go wrong with? I mean, we know tons of things out there are bad for you. Cut out pop, well, it's not really a food, but I guess, be careful of beer, things, anything processed. One of my rules in our family is if we don't know where it comes from, then, I'm not going to feed it to my kids.
Right.
But can you name like just a few foods which, if you include these in your diet, you're doing great?
Okay. Well, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So kind of cliche, but the apples are great food. I eat an apple every day, or banana.
Okay.
You also want to look at some type of vegetable, some leafy vegetable like spinach is good, or something dark green like broccoli.
No, spinach is a great example because so many people have iceberg lettuce on their hamburgers, and we simply just replace it with spinach.
There you go.
Put spinach in our omelets in the morning. Which, were you going to mention eggs? Eggs to me seem like one of a great thing to have in your diet.
Yeah, eggs. You've probably heard, when it comes to building muscle, protein is like a key ingredient. You want a lot of protein. And eggs are the best source of protein because it is the easiest way to put it is it's it's easily digestible by our body. It's all the protein blocks that we need for the body to take and then go start building muscle with. Like, without getting too complicated, like protein, not all proteins are created equal. Like protein from, say, soybeans are missing certain elements. The body can't just take that protein and start building muscle. It needs to find protein from somewhere else, put them together, and then it's ready to go build muscle. Whereas eggs, it's everything you need right there, so the body's like, oh sweet, takes it and it's ready to build muscle. And they're easy to cook. I think another thing is, when I look at foods, in addition to being healthy and helping us, is it easy to cook? Can you eat it in different ways? Because you don't want to be eating the same thing over and over and get stale or boring. Like, we got to keep the human side to this.
So what about, I'm a meat eater. Everyone knows I came from Texas. Let's talk about meat. What about chicken?
Chicken's great. Yeah, chicken, absolutely. Lean meats are good. Salmon, fish. Salmon's a great fish. It's got fat, but it's healthy fat.
What about things like tilapia, cod? I see a lot of other fish out there. I mean, can you go wrong with anything that's fish?
Yeah, tilapia is good. And then any other fish. I don't know if there's really any fishes that you can go wrong per se. Chicken, turkey is good. Pork is, okay. You got to watch. You just want to watch for the fats, and even with the red meat's good, but you want to make sure you're getting lean, or not like like prime rib. It can be a lot of fat, so you want to kind of steer clear of that, or use that in moderation.
Okay, so we talked about fruits, we talked about vegetables, we talked about meats, we talked about eggs. What about let's talk about things that you should avoid. Things that, I mean, we know the pop, we know the chips, but what else should we just stay away from?
Yeah, let me give you some guidelines. This is what I use when I'm shopping. Instead of saying like a particular food, because that can really vary. Like you were mentioning, I'm a big share the same belief as you as far as the processed foods. I really believe that leads to a lot of the diseases and cancers that we see later in life because of all the chemicals that are in the food. So one kind of standby rule is when you're shopping, you flip whatever you're thinking about getting over and you look at the ingredient list. And if you can't read those ingredients, then you probably shouldn't be eating it.
Well, one thing that we do is we shop only on the outside of the grocery aisle.
That's another good one.
So we don't go in the center unless we're going to get paper towels or plastic spoons.
Right.
You know, but really, it's if I don't know what animal or where it came from, what plant, I'm not buying it.
Right. Yeah, and that's another good. So those are two good rules to use. Guidelines to follow when you're shopping.
Another one: if it comes through your window, don't. Comes through your car window.
Yes, got to be careful with those too.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Obviously, we could spend, there's entire courses and books written on this, so we're not going to go too deep into it. Let's talk about rest. And guys, notice I'm not talking about fitness yet, because these are the things that people miss on, the nutrition and the fitness. So let's talk about rest.
Right.
How do you define rest?
There's a couple things when it comes to the rest category, the workout trinity. Obviously, you have your straight up rest where you're literally sleeping. So you want to shoot for 6 to 8 hours a night. Because see, our body doesn't build muscle when we're in the gym. We're not actually building muscle, we're tearing our muscles down. And our body builds muscle when we're sleeping. That's when it's literally taking the stuff from the eggs and whatever else you eat and putting on the muscle. So if you're cutting your sleeping time short, well, then you're not going to be getting any bigger. So that's a key component, but that's direct rest. There's also what I call indirect rest, which is like this week. This week we are in Arizona, we're running, but I'm not hitting the gym hard, lifting hard. You may have seen me eating some things this morning that other.
He had about 2,000. How many waffles did you have? 7
I think
waffles?
I had about 7 or 8 waffles with syrup, and it was delicious. But this is why we train hard, so that when you are on vacation or when you're on trips, you can rest and play hard too, and not feel bad. I don't feel guilty about eating those. They are delicious and they are worth it. But the last part, another good thing to consider is, again, when you're working out a lot, you're tearing down, you're causing a lot of stress to your body. And it's good to get a massage at least once a quarter. And nowadays massages are popular, especially in the States. You can go to like Massage Envy or somewhere at like $50. Well worth the money. To say that it's too expensive is just silly.
So what about, we see in the United States, and people are always saying, I don't have time to sleep. They go to bed, they're on Facebook till 1 o'clock in the morning. They get up at 6 a.m. They triple shot, espresso to wake up. If you're doing this to yourself, is this going to stunt your growth and your development of your muscles?
Yeah, that's where we're looking at, kind of stuff that I teach as far as a big philosophy of mine is we bend our environment to build our body. And a lot of people, the environment breaks their body and they let their environment bend and change them, and that's the wrong way to do it. And if you really want to, whether you're trying to get to, I don't consider myself a bodybuilder at all. That's not how I train. But if you're trying to just put on muscle, get kind of like that Spartan look, you have to start taking command and control of your life and changing it to help build your body. And so, that type of lifestyle is not going to be conducive to getting.
What about rest periods between workouts, both weights and between cardio? How does that work?
This is kind of very a broad brush, so it can really depend based on the training and what your goals are and what you're trying to accomplish. But generally, you want at least 24 to 48 hours between workouts.
So working out 7 days a week is not going to lead to a better body.
No, and that's a big misconception. Again, because it kind of makes sense. It's like, well, I'll just hit the gym like every day this week and work out every day, and that'll make up, and that'll kind of get me results faster. And it goes back to, remember, going to the gym does not get you big. It tears down your muscles. right? So if you're just tearing down your muscles all week, what are you doing? Like you end up in like negative state, you know, with nothing. Whereas you go to the gym, you work hard, you tear them down, you rest a day, then you go back the next day and tear them back down again. That's a better cycle to follow than trying to work out every day.
So in recap, we've talked about getting enough sleep, we've talked about getting massages, and we've talked about having time between workouts. Guys, and the fact that we don't pay attention to rest, it sounds counterintuitive because rest sounds good. It sounds nice. That's like the gentlest part of the, of this circle, of this triangle here.
Right.
All right, so let's jump into it. We're going to talk about 5 core exercises and some auxiliary ones as well. And we're also going to talk about compound versus isolation lifting. So really quick, what 5 exercises? I think, and I'll start, you mentioned running is a cardio one, and you can do elliptical or anything, but having a cardio in there, you say is really important.
Yeah.
So that one we've heard before, and it more comes down to what works for you, right?
Right. Yeah. Because some guys have injuries, especially, I work with a lot of, old, not necessarily older, but 40 to 60-year-old guys, and there's just parts that are just, it hurts to hit the pound the pavement. So in that case, I'm like, go ahead, hit the bike, the elliptical, the Stairmaster, whatever works for you. Another philosophy is, something is better than nothing. So maybe you're not doing the perfect cardio, if there is such a thing, but at least you're out there sweating.
And if I'm looking to build muscle, like stack on some muscle, I don't want to go beyond 40 minutes on cardio, right?
Right. Yeah, you want to keep your cardio sessions to under 40 minutes. And just real quick, in case there's any confusion, when you're doing separate cardio and weightlifting. Like we don't do those. You don't want to be doing those in the same workout. Like if you're going to the gym, you do your lifting, and then another day you do your cardio. Okay. Or you can do them in the same day, but spaced several hours apart.
Okay. So if I had 24 hours between, so I could probably get in 2 cardio workouts, maybe 2 weight workouts in a week. And that would be probably the most I want to do.
Yeah, I mean, well, no, I would, if you, that's 4 slots. Yep. Okay, so if that was the case and you were my client, and we're trying to put on muscle, I would do 3 gym sessions of lifting and 1 cardio session.
1 cardio. Okay.
Because when you're lifting and you're putting on muscle, you're going to raise your metabolism, and you're going to kind of naturally be burning fat throughout the day, which is why I can eat 7 waffles. I couldn't do that every day, but that's not going to hurt me at all. Okay.
So we've talked about the cardio part. Cardio's done. Let's get into actually the core exercises. So, what do you think about squats?
Best. Squats are the best. Best exercise. And it's one of those things that's counterintuitive because you're like, well, I don't want big legs. I don't want to train my legs. It's like, no. There's a lot of stuff, unfortunately, that's just counterintuitive when it comes to working out. But our body operates as a system. When you're doing squats, you start and you train with the right rest time and the right number of sets and all the stuff I teach in my muscle growth formula class. That's when your body starts releasing more testosterone, growth hormone, and you start building more muscle.
All right, and another thing about squats, which I've learned recently, is it's a compound exercise. So I don't have to work my abdominals if I'm doing squats.
Yeah, squats, you think just work legs, but it's a compound movement, which means it works multiple muscle groups. And squats do hit your legs and your glutes and all that, but they also hit your core. So yeah, they hit your quads, hit your abs, and a little bit of obliques, and really help tighten up your body.
Okay. Now tell me about the bench press.
The bench press. This is like, everyone's favorite staple gym exercise, right? So probably don't have to tell guys, all right, bench press is good for you. Go ahead and do bench press.
I think it's important to state, though, it's one of the 5 core. I mean, this is something that it just needs to be part of the workout. Works the chest, works the arms,
shoulders,
shoulders as well.
A little bit of exactly. And the main reason we stick to kind of like the 5 core or a few core exercises is you start getting better at the form because you're doing those same exercises. If you're trying something like this crazy muscle confusion and you're doing 5,000, you're doing new exercise every day, well, how good are you really getting at the technique? Like the form is very, very important. Never sacrifice form for weight when it comes to working out.
Now let's talk about some ones that kind of go back to your experience as a gymnast. And what 2 exercises would you talk about then?
Yeah, there we'd be looking at dips and pull-ups. 2 great exercises. Again, they're compound and they're body weight exercises. Now, a couple caveats there, like if you're a bigger guy and you can't quite do pull-ups yet, hopefully your gym has an assisted machine, which is where you stand on a bar and it lets you put weight on, and that actually reduces the amount of weight you're lifting, so you can do kind of assisted pull-ups or assisted dips. So that's one way to start. For dips, another thing, if they don't have that, is if you have, you know, a chair and a bench, you can, you know, put your feet up on the chair and do bench dips like this. And this is kind of like a progression to work you up to do regular body weight.
Now, what about with pull-ups? There's the overhand, and then there's chin-ups, right? So difference?
The chin-ups hit your biceps a little bit more, because I mean you can just see, like when you pronate versus having it in, they hit your biceps a little bit more, but they both work your back. So again, I prefer chin-ups, but that's one of those areas where if you're going to do one of them, then that's better than nothing.
So these 5 core exercises, if you focused in on these and you ate well, you rested well, people are going to be asking, hey, what kind of workout do you want? I mean, you're going to see visible results.
Yeah, your coworkers want to know what's your secret, man. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, there is no secret, you know. But yeah, that's definitely the ones to focus on.
And I think we talked about this. You know, everyone, we get wrapped around the axle. We try to like focus in on, we want to learn all these different exercises. We want to know what all these secrets are. We're at this point where we're trying to gather so much information when many of us are just, well, we're just lazy. We're just kind of scared. We just need to take action and focus on that 20% and get to the 80% level. And then when you're at the 80% level, then I think you're in a better position to start asking the questions about muscle confusion and, you know, should I be, you know, variations in each of the exercises. If you're doing those exercises consistently and you're eating right, all of a sudden, you know, you're just going to be in a much better position. And I think most of us are right now.
Right. And you're going to learn, you know, important thing again that I teach a lot of my guys is we're learning. There's only so much that anybody can teach you. The rest you have to learn just by doing. And because we're talking about the human body here, like everyone is different. Our moms were right, we're all special, and we all react to things a little bit differently. You know, certain cardio may work better for me than it does for you. Particular foods may affect you more than they affect me. And no one in the world could tell you that, and no one in the world could tell me that. But when we're taking action and we have the right systems in place, then we start to learn what affects our body and how it affects it, and we can use that to our advantage. So training, you know, a little bit smarter.
Perfect. All right. Well, this has been Ryan Masters. He's been thank you for being a guest here at Real Men Real Style.
Absolutely.
And guys, if you want more information, just go over. I'm going to link to it to the you know, I'll link to his YouTube channel, The Workout Corner, and any other ways they can find you online.
Yeah, if you check out the YouTube channel, I also email my guys every day, so you're welcome to download any a couple free workouts you can get started on at theworkoutcorner.com. Just sign up for one of those, get you started. If you want to jump right into it, there's my muscle growth formula where I kind of break all this stuff out step by step to follow. They can go through that as well. And
worst case, you've got tons of great, solid, free content right there on the web. But guys, you know, one thing I really like about Ryan, again, is I'm approaching 40 years of age, and your body starts to change. What I really like about Ryan is he has a lot of knowledge for the guys in their 30s, 40s, 50s who are still looking to take care of their bodies. And you know, you've got some great information about that. So
yeah, and like we were talking about earlier, like it's not, especially for guys like us and your subscribers who it's, you know, yeah, the looks are nice and it's nice to get the double takes from girls or whatever, but it's really more about commanding a greater presence and being able to have more energy throughout the day to hit your tasks harder, to wake up ready to go, and just kind of building your world around you. At least that's kind of the philosophy of how I use fitness as a supplement to support my lifestyle, not to be my lifestyle.
You know, there's a great book out there. It's called Spark. You guys should check it out, and they talk about the relationship of a healthy body with a healthy mind, and how actually exercising, in a sense, makes you smarter, or it makes your brain, in a sense, be able to perform at a higher level, which is pretty important, no matter where you want to be in life. So guys, I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.